Om Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Bhatarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheta Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Ukaro Anthakaro Vai Rukarastan Nivartakaha Anthakara Nirodhitvat Gururitya Vidhiyate Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanav Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namo Bhagavate Vaivasvataya Mrityave Brahma Vidya Acharyaya Nachiketase Namaha. We are in the second section of the second chapter of Kaṭha Upaniṣad. Even though Upanishads are many, the vision is one. The topic will be one in every Upanishad. The oneness of the Lord and the individual, or the creator and the created are not different. They are one from the standpoint of substractum. This oneness is highlighted in every Upanishad. So, a person who is in search of Lord, a person who is interested to know the ideas of creation, a person who is a continuous seeker of the truth, will know the reality of oneself and also the reality of the creation and the creator. In Sanskrit, we say Jiva, Ishvara, Ekatva, Jnanam. Ekatva Jnanam. Knowledge of oneness. The individual and the Lord are seemingly different. They are only in terms of, they are different only in terms of the bodies, their body. They are one and the same from the standpoint of reality. But this knowledge is not very easy to assimilate, to understand, to put in practical, and also to get inside the mind logically. It's very different. It's very difficult when compared to other knowledge. It's not so easy for the mind to understand this secret behind the individual and also the secret behind the creator. So, from different standpoints, Upanishads will disclose the subject matter for an individual to understand properly the reality. The Lord Death already explained to Nachiketas from the standpoint of the Lord. Now, the same Lord, when I say Lord, means the all-pervading consciousness. He explained properly to Nachiketas that all-pervading consciousness is secret behind each and everything in the world. From different standpoints, he explained to Nachiketas. The same subject matter is unfolding again through the body of an individual. From the known to the unknown. What is known to me? My body. From that known body, I realize myself with the proper guidance of a guru. Here, Shankara says in his Bhashya, Punaha api, again it is, Prakara antarena, in a different method, in another way, Brahma Tattva Nirdharanartha, for the purpose of ascertaining the knowledge about the Brahman, I am Arambha. This has been begun. Durvijnayatvat, because of the difficulty in understanding the Brahman as it is. Durvijnayatvat. When a casual information is told to me, it's very easy. Just like if I ask to somebody about a particular place and they give some indications and landmarks, etc., etc. For me, it is very easy because it is familiar in my life in searching of different places and reaching there by the indications and landmark. So a casual information, if somebody gives, it's very easy for me to understand and to reach that destination. But an information which never subject to which is not familiar to the material plane, which is not a subject for the senses, external senses. I need to know by the pramanam, a means of knowledge, the scriptures, the Vedic text, Vedanta, Upanishad, which is not revealed by direct perception by the senses or inference by the senses or presumption by the senses or analogy, getting an analogy from somebody about a thing. No way to understand this iconic Brahman. The Upanishad is the only means, the scriptures are the only means to understand this Brahman. And there is a difficulty because which is not a subject or an object for my senses. This being so, the mother, the scriptures, like a mother, unfold the truth in different ways. That is been told by Adi Shankara. Durvijnayatvad Brahmanaha. There are difficulties for an ordinary person to understand about the reality about oneself. So, different ways are unfolded in order to know the reality of the listener. For that, and another session is started. Second chapter, second section, first verse. I will read and I will give the proper explanation according to the commentary of Lord Shankara. Puram ekadashatvaram ajasya avakrachetasah anushthayana sochati vimuktascha vimuchyate etat vaitat. Again I will read. Puram ekadashatvaram achasya avakrachetasah anushthayana sochati vimuktascha vimuchyate. We are all subject to grief. Any remedy in our life we take to overcome our grief, our sad, and the worries and the unhappiness. These Upanishads will make the person to come out of the worries, which are continuing for past several years. A suffering which I don't see any remedy. Through different ways, even I tried. These teachings of Lord Death will put an end for all my sadness, all my sufferings. That belief first we need while listening to the scriptures. There is no other action involved other than listening to the traditional teachings through an appropriate teacher. Without adding anything from the mind of the teacher, he or she will unfold the teaching as it is, what is told in the scriptures, which will help the person to relax, to see the reality of oneself, and to overcome all kinds of sufferings in one's life. That is why the word shochati is being repeatedly told in every verse. Na shochati. After listening to this, one will overcome all kinds of sufferings. I will give the meaning of this verse and we will see what Adi Shankara told regarding this verse. First, I will give the literal meaning. Puram, a home, a kingdom, or a residing place, is called Puram. Whenever there is a kingdom, there will be lot of entrances. And here Shankara says, Upanishads, Kaṭha Upaniṣad says through the words of Lord Death that 11 doors, 11 entrances, Puram. A home or a kingdom which has 11 entrances. The same doors which are explained in other Upanishads also. Here, it is told a kingdom which is equipped with 11 entrances, 11 doors. This is directly pointing our human body. This Puram word should be understood as our human body. And which are the 11 doors? We have 7 doors in our face. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then 2 doors below as an outlet. Our wastes are being thrown out. So 2 doors for that. So 7 plus 2, 9. And the navel portion is another door. We know that while we are inside the womb, we were breathing through the navel. That the door is very important, navel portion. Even in Tantra or Shatadhara, Mooladharam, Manipuragam, Swadhishthanam. That navel portion is very important. There is also a minute door. And the 11th door is right in the top of the head. Brahmarandram or Sahasrara Granthi. 2 names are there. So 11 doors. A kingdom equipped with 11 doors. This body. Puram Ekadasha Dwaram. Whenever we say the word kingdom, it belongs to somebody who lives as a king. Kingdom will be always equipped with a king. Puram Ekatasha Dwaram. Dwaram means the entrance. Who is the king in that kingdom? Ajasya. This kingdom belongs to a person, a thing, an entity who is never subject to birth or death. Ajasya. Ajam. Jam means something which is subject to birth. Ajam, which is not subject to birth, or so that it will not die also. Ajasya avakrachetasas. Avakrachetasaha. Vakram, modifications. Curve, crooked, modification. Any meaning we can use for vakra. Vakratunda Mahakaya. Ganesha's verse. Vakratunda. Who is having a nose curved. Vakratunda. Vakra. Avakrachetasaha. So the kingdom is having an indweller who is a king who is not subject to death or birth, and also not subject to modifications. If we analyze properly, the body is a changing second by second, every moment. That is why we say we are grown up from the child to a mature person, adult person. Why? Body is changing every moment, every second. That body is equipped with an unchanging entity, which is not subject to any kind of modification. Whatever changes in this body occurring every moment affecting the unchanging entity who is residing inside this body. This sentence is explained or mentioned in different Upanishads. First, I will go to Chandogya Upanishad. Even Adi Shankara quote in Brahma Sutra, fourth sutra, in the fourth sutra, this sentence of Chandogya. Ashariram bhavasantam na priya priye sprishataha. Ashariram, devoid of body. An entity without a body is residing inside the human body or any body. But now the listener being the seeker, Nachiketas being the seeker of the truth, we have to take literally the human body. Okay? Ashariram, one who is residing inside the body is without any form, any kind of form. We cannot imagine on that king. Ashariram Vavasantam. Same in the In another Upanishad also, in Bhagavad Gita also, if I am correct, Ishavasya Upanishad, first I will read. Yasmin sarvani bhutani atmeva bhut vijanataha tatra kah moghah shokah ekatvam anupashyatah. This is talking about the shoka and the moha. But in our Kaṭha Upaniṣad itself, I think first chapter, second section, 22nd verse, I think. First chapter, second session, 22nd verse. That the same sentence is echoed. Let me see. I would like to know. Ashariram sharireshu anavasteshu avastitam mahandam vibhum atmanam matva dhiro na shochati. Ashariram. Something bodiless, without any body. Ashariram is residing in each and every body. Whatever bodies we see in this world, all these bodies are being equipped by one single king who is without a body. That king is not changing at any point of time. Ajasya. Ajasya means ajaha. We are familiar with this word, which is already passed through different verses in Kaṭha Upaniṣad itself, in Bhagavad Gita itself. Ajo nitya shashvatoyam puranaha nahanyati hanyamane sharire. Even in Mandukya Upanishad, Mandukya Karika, everywhere ajaha is used. Actually, my real nature is being emphasized through this word ajaha. What is being told? Ajaha means never subject to birth or death. A characteristic which is dissimilar to the body. When the body is subject to birth and death, ironically, the residing individual, the residing entity is not subject to birth or death. That is called ajaha. The word ajaha should be understood clearly. When I know I am not subject to death and birth, my connection in this world is only pertaining to my human body, not with myself, because I am not subject to death and birth. All my relationships, my father, my mother, my children, my wife, my husband, my friend, all these relationships are not for the birthless entity. It is only connected to this human body, which is not me. I am the king who is birthless. I am the indweller who is not subject to any kind of death, any kind of modifications. When it is told by the Upanishad itself, still my habits, that my behavior in this world up to this, molded by the interaction with the people and connected with my body, those habits make me always to be insecure, that whenever my body get affected, I am subject to grief. Whenever my body get deteriorated due to certain issues, I am upset. Whenever my body feels some unhappiness, my insecurity will also increase. So, each and every happenings occurred in my previous days, any event which occurred in my previous days rewarded me only unhappiness due to the misunderstanding about myself. I was thinking that when the body is lost, I am lost. When the body is not comfort, I am also not comfort. When the body is not in a good condition, myself is not also in a good condition. Because of this, the insecurity is always there in my mind. The word ajasya will take away all insecurities. It will take away. Why? Ajaha is an adjective for my entity. That entity which is residing inside my body. Ajaha. That entity which is not subject to any kind of modification also. Lord Death is explaining to Nachiketas, in spite of all the modifications occurring in the body, this entity is not at all affected by any kind of modifications in the body. Each and every alterations what we make in the body will not make any change to the indweller of this body. Whether I like or not, I am not subject to change. Avakrachetasaha, which is nityam, permanent by intrinsic, which is not subject to any kind of modification. I am always permanent, whether the body is subject to death, whether the body is praised, whether the body is condemned by somebody, I am always in the same condition. Myself, Ajaha, myself, I am not subject to any kind of modification. Nityam. The permanent entity in all impermanent bodies. Idam shariram kaunteya kshetram iti abhidiyate. Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, 13th chapter, 1st verse. Idam shariram. This body is the field. And he used singular, kshetrajnam. But even though the bodies are many, one single entity residing in everybody, that is me. Kshetrajnam chapimam vitti. So the secret is explained in different ways in different scriptures, which is not subject to any kind of modification. This all-pervading consciousness, who is the indweller of this body, which is subject to all kind of changes. Puraha ekadashatvaram, a kingdom which has equipped with 11 doors, 11 entrances, belong to whom? Ajasya, a all-pervading consciousness which is not subject to death and birth. Achetasaha, which is not crooked, which is not subject to any kind of modification. That king is to be known. That is why we are together every Sunday. Even though my body has lot of limitations, my body has lot of issues, my body is subject to all kinds of unhappiness, still Anushtaya, knowing this reality, Anushtaya. Whenever there is a word Anushtanam, Anu means in tune with the scriptures. May one should know the reality according to the scriptures. Anu. Stha means continuously thinking upon what you have listened from the traditional teacher, which is the subject matter of the scriptures. So Anu plus Stha, Anushta. Anu in tune with the scriptures, and Stha means from the traditional teacher, may you understand about oneself. Anushtaya, listening to the traditional teacher. That is why Shravanam comes into picture. Shravanam means listening. An error can only rectified through a real knowledge. A misunderstanding can only corrected by getting the real information regarding a thing. So, about myself, I am already having certain misunderstanding about myself. I am already having some erroneous notions. Now I have to correct with the proper means of knowledge. Scriptures present the true fact about oneself through traditional teachers. So, listening to the traditional knowledge from an appropriate teacher, Anushtaya, and staying for a long time in this vision to rectify all the errors, to uproot all the notions which can take me to different births and deaths. This misunderstanding is not something very simple. This misunderstanding about myself is going to give a ride through different deaths and births, taking different bodies in this world. That is why having a human body and getting in the realm of an appropriate traditional teacher and focusing to the human goal through his or her guidance is the main priority for a seeker. All other things will come in the right time because this entity knows to provide everything for the real seeker. So here it is told, Anushtaya, after knowing the reality, after listening to the traditional teacher, one should come to know the real nature of oneself, which is the goal, Purushartham. The insecurity will go away. After knowing that I am the only one pervading in each and every body. I am the only entity which is not from the standpoint of the body, from the standpoint of the ultimate consciousness, ultimate standpoint, which is all-pervading consciousness. From the standpoint of the truth, if I look into everywhere in this world, there is nothing other than me. The truth is one. There is no different lords. There is no different religions. There is no different bodies. There is no different elements. There is no different species. Everything is different from one to one in the material plane. With our eyes, if we look at the world, I will see everything is different from my body. There is no need of a teaching which you get through your external eyes. There is no need of teaching through the scriptures. Scriptures are giving an information which is beyond the perception. Even though you are seeing different things from you, Jnate dvaitam na vidyate, Mandukya Karika. When you come to know the reality, there is no duality. Jnate. So a unique knowledge is presented by the scriptures. That is why it is called Advaitam. Even though you perceive duality, it is only a different which is not existing now, not existed in the past, will not exist in the future. Because any knowledge from the material plane confirms that I am different from this thing or I am different from that thing. But this knowledge which is unique confirms there is no difference between anything. From the standpoint of reality, this one thing, this entity is pervading in each and everything in the world, whether it is sentient or insentient, whether it is a chair or whether it is a lizard in the hall. One is sentient, other is insentient, but the entity which is residing in both are one and the same. For this understanding, one needs to focus to the teaching continuously, to the traditional teacher for a length of time. We may think ourselves, oh, this is a knowledge I already understood properly. Understanding is not a problem. This is called intellectual information. Assimilation of the knowledge, to behave in this world according to the knowledge what you have received, is the main role to play. It takes time. It takes time. It is not an easy thing. After listening one time, there will be some modifications in our thinking. Slowly, we start to behave looking upon something with a lot of compassion, because I see myself everywhere. Atmeva bhut vijanataha. In Ishavasya Upanishad, it is told properly. Yasmin sarvani bhutani. When a person gets a vision to see in each and every living beings nothing other than oneself, the vision is clear. From the teacher, he adjusted his vision. Now the outlook is very much different. Why? The clarity towards the things, the clarity about oneself. All the mistaken errors are gone. Once the real knowledge is highlighted by the teacher, when you come to know the reality, the unreal facts will vanish immediately. That is why Yasmin Sarvani Bhutani, in each and every living beings and insentient thing, he only sees himself or herself. Then Tatrako Mohaka Shokaha. When this vision is the oneness in each and every thing in this creation, the oneness. I am in the form of a chair. I am in the form of a table. I am in the form of the star. Each and everything is nothing, just this all-pervading consciousness. This is to be thought in each and every moment. This should be the thought each and every moment. This is why Anushtaya, after getting this vision and one is ready to go along with this vision, Anushtaya, na shochati. After getting this vision, when one act like this, according to this vision, na shochati. There is no fear because nothing exists other than oneself. He is in the form of creation. Remember the word ajaha. There is no death, there is no birth for this entity, even though it appears in different bodies, in the form of different bodies. From the standpoint of reality, no death, no birth. From the standpoint of body, there is a death, there is a birth. But in the indweller of this body is something different from the body, who is not subject to death and birth. That is why Anushtaya, listening properly from the traditional teacher, one should be equipped with the vision. After a period of time, we are not samsari anymore. We don't see any difference. Even though we are separate with the body, we are separate in forms, the one entity which is not subject to death and birth hold all these bodies. When this vision is understood by somebody, he is called Jnani. When this vision is lacking, he is called Ajnani, Samsari. Even though they are living in the one and the same world, after studying under a guru, one got this vision. He is called Jnani. He don't, na shochadi. He don't have any insecurity, no fear, looking towards the world, no jealous, no comparison. Oneself, he is completely calm. Why? Got the vision. This unique vision is the cause for fearlessness. Knowing that I am this all-pervading entity that will take away all kind of fear and all kind of insecurity. And one will live a proper life. Again and again and again, we need to correct ourselves that the body notions will be dominating all the way in our life. Even though we got the knowledge properly, our notions are very, very, very strong. They will not help us to live according to the vision. For the sake of living according to the vision, one need to listen continuously. Asupter amrdet kalam nayed vedanta chintaya. After waking up in the morning till we go to bed, till we depart from the body, one should go along with the thoughts of the scriptures given by the Guru. So Anushtanam will only happen with the help of a Guru and the scriptures. Anushtaya na shochati, the insecurity will go away. Fear comes only when there is a mistaken identity. When the rope is not known and I take myself, it's a snake, there is fear. Mistakes causes fear. Real knowledge takes away all fear in my life. There is no second entity to make me fear. Even the tiger, even the elephant, everything is a kingdom which is having 11 doors, but residing, the indweller, the residing personality is one and the same. Here in Bhashya, it is told as a king. When this king is understood by a person, he behaves like a king. After knowing the king, he cannot behave like a slave in this world. Slave of whom? Slave of senses. Going along with the desires of senses. Of course, wherever there is prarabdha, one need to take away that prarabdha. Not every enlightened person live with the kamandalu and stick yoga dandam. Kamandalu means that pot which hold water for a sadhu, for a sage. Everybody have a different prarabdha. According to the prarabdha, each and every body has to go through certain actions which will be different from each and every body. But the entity will be the same, who is the witness of all action. This person came to know that I am the king who is residing in each and every body, which is not subject to death and birth. He is free of fear. There is no fear at all after knowing this. Not only there is no fear, there is no insecurity. Insecurity regarding the health, insecurity regarding the death, insecurity regarding the person who were talking to me and now he's not talking at all. There is no insecurity. People can behave odd, different. There is no insecurity. Only the vision can eradicate all kinds of insecurities. To get the proper vision and to stay in the proper vision, after that, getting the proper vision, a person already liberated while living, vimuktaha, visheshena muktaha, much to be free. Not after death, while living in this world, a person come to know that I am this all-pervading entity which is permanent. Even my body can go, still I will be here. I am not subject to death and birth. I am the source of all happiness. I am eternal. I am permanent. I will be always here, even everything goes away. This understanding make the person to stay without any fear and always be free in spite of all activities to the body. In the midst of all activities pertaining to the body, the inside indweller who understood the reality properly, he will be free. Vimuktaha. All bondages are gone. There is no responsibility for a birthless entity. There is no kartavyam for a birthless entity. When you take yourself, I got a birth and I have a date of birth and I have a body, all responsibilities are there. When we come to know I am birthless, that person don't have any kind of responsibilities to be done. Kartavyam nasti, tasya karyam na vidyate. A birthless entity is not at all in this world, in this dualistic world. So, no kartavyam, no paschatapam, there is no guilt, there is no hurt, there is no any kind of worries which are pertaining to one's own body. So that vimuktaha, free from all kind of bondages. While living, it's not that after death. While living vimuktaha, an enlightened person is already free while living. While living, he got liberated. This person is free from all kinds of bondages. What about my duties to my husband? There is no question for a birthless entity. As long as your body is there, you go along with the dharmic way of living. Take care of the husband, take care of the children, not with a pressure, without having any pressure towards the family responsibilities. I fulfill all the duties without any pressure. The pressure has gone. There is no responsibilities for a birthless entity, for a realized personality, because he always consider I am ajaha. I am an birthless entity. When a birthless entity is there at present, that body has different responsibilities. Through that body only he came to know, or she came to know, I am birthless entity. He may fulfill, he may not fulfill. Tasya karyam na vidyate. After fulfilling, nothing to gain. Without fulfilling, nothing is going to affect the person. Naivatasya kritenarthaha na kriteneha kaschana. Third chapter of Bhagavad Gita, 24th shloka. Nachasya sarva bhuteshu kaschitartha vipashrayaha. Totally independent from the duties of this external world. There is no worry. I will not get connected with any kind of people in the world. Not connected with the family internally, not outside. Externally, you cannot behave like a wood. They will think you are mad. Vedanta is a transformation completely inside, not outside. The beard, the head, the behavior, everything can be same as you were before knowledge. The complete transformation should occur inside one's mind, because mana eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayoho. The moksha is for the mind. The bondage is also for the mind. External body can behave without having any problem, or don't without creating any disturbances for the people who are nearby. But the conviction about oneself that I am birthless make the person completely free from all kind of grief. A death or any kind of disaster can occur in one's own life. The person is not shaken because I am birthless. All-pervading entity is not subject to birth. Body is subject to death, body is subject to birth. This understanding makes the person totally free from all kinds of sufferings. Thus, a person is completely free from all kinds of issues related to dualistic world. He is called Vimuktaha. This Vimuktaha, this person, Vimuktaha, Vimuchyate, the last word of this sentence. Vimuchyate. Vimuchyate means after departing from the body, he will not take another limited body, because to take another body after departing from one body, you need errors, you need mistakes, you need ignorance. This person already corrected the mistaken notions. There is no ignorance regarding oneself, so that this person is not going to take a body at all, a guaranteed statement by the death. A realized person will not come again in this world, in the world of suffering. A realized person will not be coming to take another body in order to enjoy this world and get into the situation of pain. This is a statement given by the Lord to Nachiketas. Etat vaidadu. That thing is indeed you, O Nachiketas, which you have asked through 1 to 14. Again, I will briefly explain what we have studied right now, elaborately. What's the time? Yes, it's time now. So, Puram Ekadasha Dwaram Achasya Avakrachetasaha. This kingdom, which is equipped with 11 doors, belong to a king who is not subject to death and birth, who is not subject to any modifications, a king which is eternal and birthless. Knowing this Anushtaya by the scriptures and the traditional teachers' guidance, the person will not grieve at all at any point of time, and he is freed while living. He got enlightened while living. He is free from all kind of bondages. Vimuktaha cha, and also cha vimuchyate. He's been freed after departing from the body. He will not again take another body to this world and come back. Etat vaidadu. This is what you have asked, O Nachiketas. More we will see in the next class. Om Swasti Prajabhya Paripalayandam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahishaha Gobrahmanebhya Shupamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Kali Varshadu Parjanyaha Prithvi Sasya Shalini Deshoyam Chobarahitaha Brahmana Santu Nirbhayaha Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhavet Asato Ma Saddamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamataya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om